It's a special time when a video game comes out for me that it actually captures my attention so hard, I gotta make a video for it. So if you've been following me for the past couple days, you know that I've been live streaming Far Cry 5. I'm kind of in love with it right now, and I didn't expect it. So a while back, I covered this game on the topic of its blatant controversy that had happened because of its setting, and I gave it a little defense because honestly, it's an interesting scenario, and frankly, people should stop fucking losing their marbles at every tiny little thing in a game. It's a fucking video game. So Far Cry 5, I still wasn't excited for it. Honestly, at this point, I wasn't even thinking I would get it. But because of the pre-release reviews and a lot of people, actual users who had played the game, really enjoyed it, I figured, why the fuck not? I'll give it a chance. In my defense, there is no point where I can really consider there was a bad Far Cry game. Let me put this into perspective. I played the first game, half of it, until you saw the mutant De La Mouse, and I really just couldn't run it at the time. I was playing it at like 10 frames per second, couldn't really proceed further than that. Far Cry 2 is a game I played the ever-living shit out of on my Xbox 360 back when it had released, and I really enjoyed it. Far Cry 3 is a game that I was blown away by on the PC, didn't finish it on that, got it on the PS3 later, and still had a hell of a time. Far Cry 4, interesting game, just didn't get past the first 2-3 hours of it because there were a lot of other games that took up my time. So I decided, let's go into Far Cry 5 and give it a pretty honest look and see how it rolls from here. So during the course of my streams and general questions outside of YouTube, people have asked me, is Far Cry 5 worth getting? And I've said it over and over again. In my opinion, if you enjoy fun times, fun shoot-em-ups, then by all means go for it. So I'm going to give not like a whole comprehensive review because I haven't finished the game myself. I'm still playing through it. I'm actually, I beat one chunk of the game, and I got two more chunks, well, three expected chunks. I don't know if the game tosses anything more at me. So I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying it, and I figured I'll tell you guys what I find so cool about it and why I think if you're into this kind of stuff, you'd probably get it. So first off, the visuals are fucking impressive as hell. And the reason I bring it up is because, in my opinion, Far Cry is always one of those benchmarks for really good graphics. I think whenever a Far Cry game comes out, it has really decent visuals. I remember Far Cry 1, very good looking game. 2 blew my mind away when it came out on the 360. And before that, my frame of reference was like GTA 4. 3, very good game when it came out, especially on the PC. Console was a little iffy, but then again, my entire world was sort of changing towards the PC side at that point too. And Far Cry 4, good looking game as well. Primal, which is a reskin of 4, also looks really good. These are good looking games. 5, because it came out on the PS4 and Xbox One, actually utilizes the power to its full potential. This game looks fucking gorgeous, especially on my ultra wide monitor. I love fucking looking at this game. And beyond the graphics, why I want to mention that specifically is it really draws you into the game. So what I mean is, the world is very carefully designed. There's always some little tiny nook and cranny. There's always something going on in some part of the map. The grass, the wheat sways, the visuals are all, the trees swing, there's a nice fog effect. There's actual shit going on in the world that actually doesn't feel like it's put there. Usually when I play an open world game, when it comes to like actual, like the living, breathing element of the world, as people say, there's always that thing I look so close at and the smoke and mirrors fall apart. In Far Cry, it's at least a little different. There's always moments where you feel like the world is alive beyond you, which is very fucking important. For example, if you look far enough, you'll see fucking bears eating corpses. You'll see animals fighting each other. You'll see shit going on in the world that feels like it's there, totally separate from you. And that's, of course, what every open world game needs. It's kind of like playing an Elder Scrolls game where you're just a pawn in the world and there's shit actually happening around you. Not like any other open world game where it feels like the whole world is just faceless fucking NPCs. Look, I'm not playing an MMO. I'm playing a fucking game that's supposed to be living and breathing. Thankfully, this meets up to it.
Bite it! Who is this? Get over here. Oh god, it's angry. Get your bitch ass over here. Ah! Oh god! I just wanted a fish! I just wanted a fucking fish! Ah!
Far Cry gameplay has always been about blowing shit up. If you want to know what Far Cry basically is, I'll give you my take on it. It's an 80s action movie, alright? Think about Commando. You watch the movie Commando with Arnold, you watch Predator, you like those movies? Guess what? This game can basically become that shit if you want it to. y'all know the whole deal about Far Cry. You attack bases either with stealth or go in fully gung-ho. I do a mix of both. Sometimes I like to take my nice sniper rifle, aim at a fucking dumbass, fire away, and clear the whole base out one by one. Sometimes I like to take an LMG and send these motherfuckers straight to Buddha myself. It's all up to me. But what really actually makes this cool about it is it has this really nice single player co-op feel to it. Let me elaborate on this. So in the past, Far Cry has had allies. If you ever played Far Cry 2, you could find like 7 or 8 people that would help you in your time of need. So if you died, they would come and revive you. And it was an interesting buddy system. Nothing too impressive, it's just having another bullet sponge next to you. But it felt pretty cool at the time. That personality, you were fucking rolling with them. It was some cool shit. Far Cry 3, I don't even remember if that game even had a buddy system. It just had AI that could sometimes come across and help you. Far Cry 4 had the guns for hire thing, so I believe you could toss out a flare, and there would be like 2 NPCs that would come and help you. Alright stuff. Far Cry 5, though, elaborates on it. So it's got these specialists that you unlock throughout the map, and these guys can help you out in many ways. So some of them can help you snipe distant foes, some of them can give you aerial support, there are certain animals you can hire with you that'll stealthily kill and drag away bodies if you so want to, and so on and so forth. Beyond that, you can also get 3 randoms that you can hire up onto your team, and they come with different stats each. So some of them might be able to fix a car while you're driving it, some of them might be able to revive themselves, some of them might be able to take more bullets. It's some pretty interesting shit. And the best part about it is the AI is actually good. Alright, it's not like Payday 2 where they're all bullet sponges. In this game, they're not bullet sponges. They can still go down, and you still need to go and revive them. But they are very realistic, and they fucking actually help you when you need to. So, for example, in the middle of a fight, they'll be over there, and they'll be with me, they'll be taken down, but they'll also revive me accurately, I'll also revive them, and they'll accurately find targets that they should be shooting themselves. So, for example, if you bring the sniper with you, the sniper will prioritize long-range targets versus those that are right in front of you. Like, I can kill a target 2 feet in front of me. How about the dude that's 4 miles away? Can you land that shot? You bet your ass they can. Best part is they can also pilot motherfucking helicopters and cars for you too, so you're not always driving 2 fucking stiffs with you. That is probably one of the greater parts. It's all this shit that ends up making a world that actually is fun to play in, versus a world that feels like some standard Ubisoft grindathon, if you will. As far as grinding and stuff goes, there are microtransactions in the game, okay, we knew this, but they're not terrible, okay? If you play the game enough, you'll have everything if you want to. Same for any Far Cry, same for any video game in general with microtransactions nowadays, from Ubisoft. Not so much from EA, but that's a whole different story. The game itself is very nice, but I feel like the asterisk needs to be applied. If you're walking into Far Cry 5 expecting, something life-changing like Shadow of the Colossus or, fucking Final Fantasy X or Lightning Return. Can't even say that shit with a straight fucking face. If you expect this game to be life-changing for you, you're wrong. It's a fucking popcorn shooter, okay? Of a good variety. It's a game about cults, alright, motherfucker? And before we get into that, that's the biggest point as well, too. The politics of the game are what you expect. It's a game about cults, okay? Think of it like Waco times 100, alright? This is what this shit is. You're fighting a cult that I believe is loosely based around Christianity, if anything. It's a cult, okay? The cult takes over Montana in the United States. Very interesting premise, okay? And they're fucking mentally insane. That's another big factor about Far Cry games that I love. The enemy, okay? Far Cry 2 had the Jackal, which was... I don't even know who that fucker... Was it a ghost? Was it Casper? I don't know. But Far Cry 3 had Voss, the definition of insanity guy. Far Cry 4 had Pagan Min, who was a fucking psycho, a very well-dressed psycho. Far Cry 5 has a pastor psycho, and this man is truly a psycho indeed. It was the first time where, like, in the introduction, when this guy walks up to you face-to-face and tells you about his cult, that I actually had, like, hairs raised up on my neck. Like, this guy knows when you masturbate, how you do it. This guy knows everything about you just by sight alone. It's fucking mentally crazy. So again, the enemy of Far Cry, the big villain, actually is a big fucking villain. Beyond that, the game world is actually very interesting. You got the Montana cultists, you expect the National Guard to rush in, but it's a situation that I don't want to spoil, but it is a very complicated scenario, but it's also a very fun one. So with that, keeping the politics out of the picture, ladies and gentlemen, it's a fucking video game about cultists again. Think of it Waco times 100. Just go in with that expectation. Again, if you expect something life-changing, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. It's Far Cry 5. It's a game about shooting motherfuckers. It's a game about explosions. It's a game about camaraderie. It's a game about fucking farming bears to build your pouches, okay? You understand what I'm talking about? Okay, the game is fun, but it is Far Cry. So if you go in expecting a game that's just going to be a fun time, which again, may I remind you, is what a video game is supposed to be, to have fun gameplay and make you laugh, make you smile, make you giggle, sometimes make you cry, make you feel that tingle in your bum bum, then you're walking into a decent game. Again, I'm not a professional game reviewer or anything, I just play fucking video games, and frankly, I do care about this game enough to actually give it a proper response. There are some segments that I most definitely included in this quasi-review, edited through my streams, that I hope will give you some expectation of what I expect. Beyond the world map, it doesn't have too much of these collectible grindathons. In fact, everything in the world I feel is carefully crafted. Even the random, like, even the drops you have to find have little puzzles attached to them and little nice story elements. It's a fun title, alright, is all I'm gonna say. It almost makes you feel like you're playing a stalker game that's all about cults. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got to say about Far Cry 5. It is an interesting title, looks great, plays great, and most importantly is just a damn good time. So that being said, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. This is me, Mutahar. I hope I helped you out in some decision-swaying manner. Let me know if you want me to make some more of these reviews. I am a gaming channel after all, and sometimes I just play games and I want to share them with you. So, that being said, I am out.